people that are going to share about Winter Relief come forward, please? There you go. So this week, as Patrick mentioned, our church participated in Winter Relief, which is a winter homeless shelter that is set up in churches around Anne Arundel County, and we partnered with Cape United Methodist Church to get our first taste of what Winter Relief is like. And I can tell you that Patrick, Pat, and I sat down before we brought this to you all, and we said, okay, like, how much can we handle? Okay, we can handle 3 cooking nights. And then I looked at Pat and said, can we handle an entire day with chaperones and breakfast and lunch? And Patrick and I kept looking at each other, I don't know. Pat said, go for it, we can do it. And we did. And not only did we do it, but I kept telling every crew, I think we had the all-star crew, because we had enough people helping that we probably could have cooked for the entire week. So I am so grateful for this church. I am thankful that the trust that you had stepping into something that was new and was different, not knowing if it was going to be scary or uncomfortable, but I think that you will see from some of the experiences that are shared this morning that we gave and provided as warm place and food for many people, but I think you'll see they received a lot in return too. So.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Elizabeth, for those that don't know me, otherwise known as Liz. And the disclaimer is that I asked my son for permission before I talked about this. So we've been talking about the winter ministry on Wednesday nights when they're down in class. So I went ahead and signed up, much to, lack of his knowledge, and picked him up early from school on Wednesday, which is unusual for me. And I said, okay, so we're gonna go to Miss Pat, and we're gonna pick up Miss Patty on the way, and we're gonna go cook, and we're gonna go feed the homeless. And Dylan's eyes got big, and from the back seat, I could feel him penetrating in the back of my skull, and he's like, yeah, I don't wanna do that. And I said, well, no, we're gonna go help, we're gonna feed homeless. These are people that don't have what we have, and we need to go help them out. Yeah, I don't wanna do that, I wanna go to our church. And I said, well, they're having dinner at our church too. I said, but this is something that we need to do. And I started thinking about why he was apprehensive, and there were a lot of reasons. First, and most surprisingly, he's actually shy. So, I know, you have to get to know him, but he's actually shy, so it was new people. But then I started thinking about the real reason behind it. The only exposure that kids have to homeless folks are pretty much what they see on TV. Oftentimes on TV, they're portrayed as people that commit crimes, do terrible things, have significant mental health issues, things of that nature. The other time that he's seen them is perhaps going to the games up in Baltimore, and you see the homeless folks standing on the street. And I thought about that, and for somebody who's his age and who is shy, that's scary. I mean, it's scary enough for us to think of, homeless, because we automatically go to mental health, these people are crazy. And so I understood a little more. I'm like, okay, so I started to talk to him in the car, and I wasn't facing him so that he could deal with his own stuff back here, but I said, homeless people are just like us. I said, some of them have issues, some of them have problems, some of them have jobs, they just can't afford a house. I said, let's just go through this. I will be there. And as the night progressed, we picked up Miss Patty, we went to Pat's house, and we got to the church, and he realized, he kind of walked in, and he was very apprehensive, and of course, just kind of standing by watching what was going on. And suddenly people started approaching him and saying, hey, what's your name? My name is, Jerry was the first one, dressed in a suit, and he said, do you like sports? And suddenly the smile came across Dylan's face, like, oh, somebody's talking to me. And as the night went on, he got into it, he was talking to people, he was understanding, he was appreciating what we were doing. And at the end of the night, we got in the car and we were driving home, and I said, was that so bad? And he said, no. And I said, did you have fun? And he said, yeah, I did. And so it was more of the learning moment for us. Yes, we provided a service to the homeless in our area, but it was more of a learning moment for me and for Dylan to understand that I need to better explain things to him and make him a part of what's going on. But it was nice to see him understand that everybody is in a different situation, but we're all the same. So thank you for that mission moment for us.
Hi, I'm Kelly, for anybody who doesn't know me. So we went and made lunch on Saturday, and probably we're all going to talk about our kids, because that's how the mom thing goes. So I don't want to get up here and say a bunch of cliche things, but the thing is they're also true. In this case, that, you go there, like in my brain, I thought, oh, my baby. Anyways, in my brain, I thought, like, my expectation was I was going to go there, we were going to work really hard, clean up, and just sort of get out. I didn't expect so much interaction at all, and it was actually like a fraction of the work that I thought it was going to be. And the biggest thing to me was watching all this with my kids, because first, and Janelle, please forgive me, I'm so bad with names, but I remember every part of these people and what they did and what they said, and they deserve names, but my brain doesn't do it. So, first someone played Uno with my daughters, and then, if you spent like 5 minutes there, you probably know Barbershop, and he came up and talked with me and joked with me and tried to tell me that brownies had calories and would make me fat, which I don't believe. But he noticed that Colin had a need, because while we were all doing all this stuff, Colin was sort of bored, and we'd, sit there and be quiet and don't spill that and go over here, and the bigger kids were playing another game with somebody else, and he brought him over and started playing with him. He's like, it's hard, he's little and he gets ignored, and I'm thinking, here's someone who understands humanity on any level so well. And at the same time, when we were eating, a couple of my girls went and had lunch with a couple, and by the way, the pregnant lady wanted pickles, so it doesn't matter what class you're in, the pregnant ladies want pickles, we're all the same. So anyway, so they're sitting at the table with this couple, and they start telling my girls, asking them, well, what are you doing? Are you in school? And all this, and they said that they were, and he said, man, that's so great, that you have a family that cares and that you're able to go to school every day. And he told him about how he had stopped going to school his freshman year, and without using any scary words or anything that would be off-putting or even preachy, he explained to them that they have the opportunity to go to school, to have a family that cares. And then he gave them a message about hope, and then joked with them about everything else for the rest of the time. And he told them, to never lose hope and to never give up, and gave them a different sense of appreciation for how good their life truly is without being overbearing, and that to me was amazing. And then the other thing that I got from it was I really am impressed with our church, and I'm so grateful for the new opportunities that we have to serve and what they're going to be able to teach us, and bring families closer together. And I really appreciate that, Janelle, that you brought that to this church. And I had a conversation with people that I wouldn't have conversations with normally, so I got a lot out of Winter Relief, and I hope that we do it again. And I'm like ready to go back right now. All right.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'll be really brief. Tuesday, I went with a whole herd of ladies from our church. Martha pointed out there's probably as many of us as there was of them, and it was just, at first a little like we were there to serve. And then Karen Fitzgerald went around and introduced herself to everybody and got everybody laughing and talking, and that wasn't the way I did things. I just went plopped down on the couch and was like, what's on TV? And it was nice, because then folks just started talking to me and sharing, and I got somebody a piece of cake, and next thing I know, Hayden and I were sitting with him having cake, and somebody else came over, and Barry was from Chicago, and Harry was from Annapolis his whole life. And then Saturday morning, we got to go back with the Sheenies, and Brooke made tons and tons of food, and I made some food. It was not a big, huge undertaking, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It was just really cool to sit down and meet new folks. And we met, my family had breakfast with a man named Matthew, and he had epilepsy, and he was a network engineer, and had lost his job. And it was like, he had a 16-year-old, and he had a 3.5-year-old. It was just a lot of sharing, and it was just like being here. It was just with different folks. That's it.